How about you? Did you finish your traveling? Where are you right now? Hmm.
Yeah, now I'm in Colombia, in Medellin.
Hmm.
Yeah, I finished my travel, my trip, and also I restarting my activities here,
Hmm.
and also I continue practicing and stuff. And yeah, life for me is amazing right now. Everything is good, everything is working for me, and I'm happy to see you again.
Oh, likewise, likewise. So yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I was wondering what today's theme will be. Right? Yeah.
Today is about education.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
it's about education. Okay, so tell me, how was your weekend first?
Oh, my weekend. I mean, normally the weekends, I don't know about you, but for me, weekends typically are the busiest days of my week, right? Normally people they approach the weekend thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna relax now." It's the opposite for me. Usually that's work, right? Um, However, yesterday on Sunday, I only had two lessons, so that's rather unusual. So I spent a lot of time learning about chess. So I've been getting into the game chess, and I just spend a lot of time learning about that, playing some games. I had some victories, so that was nice. And yeah, yeah. So I lately, honestly, the free time has been just around chess, right? So yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
Okay. And you
Mm.
already have a partner game or something?
Well, I mean, like, like on chess.com, you can play random people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, I play against robots, against the bots, right? Just to practice what I've been learning. But I tried a game yesterday with an actual person, and I won against them. Um, I mean, I'm still a beginner. I won against another beginner, so it's like nothing amazing, but it's cool, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
It's so nice. It's so nice because you always are trying to find a way to learn something new. You
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So today is about education. And of course, I want to ask some questions to you. The first question for you is, do you think the education system in your country is good? Or what do you think about the education system?
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know which side to answer that from, because i- if we talk about education from the perspective of knowledge, right? Definitely the education system does a good job of doing that, right? I was a good student, right? So I would say I was one of the better students or the best students, right? Or I was one of the best students. So I'm a good example of what the education can do for you if you are willing to learn. And I remember a lot of things that I learned in school, unlike a lot of people around me. Most people have forgotten what they learned in school. I haven't, right? So, in that perspective, in terms of knowledge, I have quite a bit from the school, as well as what I've accumulated on my own. But okay, that's great. But the way that the world is set up is that the education is just a funnel into the workplace, right? And does it do a good job in helping people get a job at the end? In my opinion, no, right? And so, from that perspective, the education has a big weakness because it doesn't prepare people, doesn't help people to really just find a job at the end. So yeah, and the knowledge that it does give you, you can learn it in like a third of the time on your own with YouTube and whatever. Like I'm learning a lot about chess now by myself. I'm learning a lot about Japanese by myself. Whatever I want to learn, I have the tools now to learn it. So I don't know, like, is it necessary to spend 1 year learning what you could learn in 1 month? You know? Um, yeah, yeah. So I think it's okay, but yeah, yeah. I'm not convinced. that we really should be in the education system, but it's necessary. Like I would rather homeschool my son rather than send him to school, but he needs to develop social skills. He needs to understand what it's like to be in the real world. So it's necessary from that perspective, but from the education, I'm not so convinced. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But I think the way or the way of the education change when the person wants to do that, because
Okay.
people take for granted education because, for example, when they go to the school, they assume that they have to receive education. And also people don't approach, no approach, people don't, I can say, take advantage about the resources sometimes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, for me, this is the point because when people try to take classes online or in a private way, they always try to take advantage of the opportunity, and they
Right. Right.
they feel good with the
They're
classes.
fully participating.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you're right. But when they have to go to the school or also the universities or in a public space with other people, they don't take serious the education, you
Yeah,
know?
they don't take it seriously at all. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Happen with my students. They are so excited to have a classes, and I say, "Oh, how different it
It
is! How
is.
different is the
Yeah.
concept?" Because they
Exactly.
have to pay, and also is because they want to. It's not because
Exactly. Exactly. Have you ever taught in an actual school, in a public school?
yeah.
Have Me too. Me too. I taught maths in the UK, so I know it from both sides. I was a student in the UK. I was also a teacher or a teacher trainee in the UK, so I know it from both sides, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For
Right.
example, in that case, is like I enjoy my classes with you or with other teachers, but it's because I want to acquire more skills or something.
Right.
But
Right.
it's not because I have to do that.
Mm,
And yet,
exactly.
the concept is totally different, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so another question. For you, what are the main fails of the public educations?
The main phase? I don't
Main fail,
understand. You
main,
mean like what the main part? The main,
no,
what do you mean
fails,
exactly?
fails, let me see.
Faces in your face, you mean?
No, no,
Like,
no, fails.
oh, failures.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what you meant. What are the main failures of the public education system?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There are two. I mean, the first one is the preparation for jobs. All those people who in the UK. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the case about others, but most people in their jobs are not doing the job that they went to university for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good example. I did biochemistry, and now I'm an English teacher and italki. And even before that, I did other different jobs, right? Web development, sales, whatever. Um, so you will find that a lot of people they're not doing the job that they went to university for. So
Mm-hmm.
there's some mismatch between what people do in their education and what they do for their career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is that a fault in education? Maybe. The first failure is that a lot of people, they end up in a career that they really didn't prepare for, because they end up they go in different paths in their education and their career. And is that a fault in education? It could be. Then another one, it's a kind of uh, basically, you will find that a lot of students are behind in their studies, right? And because of the nature of school, the teacher is forced to proceed through the curriculum, right? You know, In lesson 1, they do this. In lesson 10, they do this. In lesson 20, they do that. And they have very little room to like, to go faster or to go slower. Really, they have to kind of follow this pace. They usually follow the pace of 80% of the students. So there's some, and even those 80%, they're not really benefiting. So you will find that a lot of students have various weaknesses in their knowledge, because the curriculum just moves on. So it's not that the school is really teaching the students. The school just proceeds with the curriculum. The curriculum is what's important. And then the students are just people that go through the curriculum rather than the school being focused on the students. The school seems to be more focused on the curriculum, getting like processing students like commodities. That's the other point as well, is that the school no longer, maybe it depends on the school, right? But it feels like the schools are like meat grinders, right? The students go in, they get processed, they come out, and they have grades and certificates and so on, and then they're off on their own. And so it becomes a factory of certificates and tests, right? I think, yeah. So that whole, yeah, and the students get very little benefit out of it. Yeah, I think that's a failure. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I have a question for you. I want to add something else to that question, but I want to ask, can I say failures or flaws?
The flaws are both is also a good one. What are the flaws of the education system? What are the main flaws or what are the main failures? Yeah, both are good alternatives. Yeah.
Okay, so according to your point, or adding something else to your point, for me, another of the flaws of the public education is because they are public, and when everything is public, sometimes, not all the time, because public universities in Colombia are so good, but talking about middle school or
primary school,
primary
elementary
school, yeah, are so generalized. For example,
right.
here in Colombia exists something called a social status.
Oh.
So here is so important, the social status. All people are the people are classified in status.
I see. Right.
So
And
we have low status, middle status, and high status.
this is determined by money, or is it determined by job, or
by money?
Mm-hmm.
How much money have the family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, in high status, they have the opportunity to get good education even in the primary school, and personalized classes,
Oh, like inside a public school, they can get personalized classes.
No, private schools.
In a private school, right. So I see. And also because, of course, in a private, there's smaller classes. The teacher has more time per student, whereas in public school, probably 30, 40, 50 students. I don't know if it's 50, but in China or in the Philippines, where I am, there's like 50 students or 40, 50 students in a classroom, right? Yeah, in a public school. Yeah.
Is this here is the same. They have a lot of students, and also the education is the same. It's no special or different class for each person, the class. And they also have the opportunity to learn languages, different languages, and also they leave the school learning, speaking other languages.
Oh, I see. So like it actually works. Like they actually leave the school with skills, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In the private school, the main focus is on general information. It's not like try to know more about math, for example.
Exactly.
economic or
And
something.
another Colombian student of mine explained to me because she went to public school before going to university. She was like, in terms of her mathematics knowledge, she had to catch up. So that to the people who went to the private school. So the first year was spent in the university. So basically, when people go to university, everyone's at the same level at that point because, like you said, the public universities is a high standard, right? But the people who go through the public schools, they haven't reached that standard yet. So they have to spend some time catching up before they can kind of do well in the university, right? So there's something like a year of knowledge that they have to catch up to, and yeah, that's what my other Colombian student explained to me. So,
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, it's true. It's totally true. Yeah, yeah, here the education have special characteristics, no?
right. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so another question for you. Eh, from your perspective, what type of things should learn, should teach in the schools?
Should be taught in the
Useful
schools.
things for life. What do you
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah. So just to correct the question, what kind of things should be taught in schools?
should be
Or
taught?
or what kind of things should students learn in schools? Right? That's another way to ask that question. Okay. Ah, well, um, this is an interesting one. All the subjects that are currently taught in school, they have a point, if you want to be an academic and you want to learn science and maths, the way that that's taught in school, it prepares you for further education in university and so on. If you want to do art and music, I didn't really do art and music in school, but from what I understand, it's good. Like you learn what you need to learn. You can actually learn how to play instruments and stuff, and learn how to be artistic. So that's cool. Um, so that's all good. I just feel that there are some lessons that are not taken seriously. For example, in my sort of high school, we had something called the general studies, or we had another one, I forget the name now, but it was practically a free lesson. Nothing happened in that lesson, right? And I think those kinds of lessons really shouldn't exist. Every time, because we have so much time in our childhood, when we're younger than 20, really, the school should devote more of that free time to give more education. So, for example, teaching them about investments, right? I shouldn't have to learn about investments on my own, right? I should learn about investments. Yeah. Um, Especially, I mean, in places like America or the UK, a lot of people, they want to be rich, right? But they're not taught the right way to be rich, which is, of course, to uh, to save money, but to make money through business, and then to make that money, make more money through investments, right? And to increase your assets and things like that. These kind of concepts, no one is taught in school. Maybe in business they're taught, maybe, but from what I understand, from what my brother has told me, I don't think he learned very much from his business. Yeah, so business lessons, business studies in school. So basically, more money related stuff. Like we always say, oh, we never learned about our taxes, we never learned about government, we never learned about politics, right? How do we vote for our government, right? Why democracy is a good thing, or history, like deeper history. If you notice in history, we tend to talk about World War One, World War Two, right? Which is cool, but you know, although there are other aspects of history we should learn. So in a way, the education should be wider and deeper, right? So I think I guess that's the point I'm trying to get to. We should learn more. So political science, economics, right? Investments, business, actually starting businesses, entrepreneurship, social media, using YouTube, using TikTok, right? These things should be in the school system. and then deeper, right? We should learn more history. We should understand geopolitics in geography, or geopolitics in history. All these deeper topics should be brought into the curriculum. Um, uh, Otherwise people, they just, I don't know, watch football instead of learning about geopolitics, right? When they become like older and they leave university, they just go to the pub, drink beer, watch football. They don't really participate in the world, right? I think, yeah. Okay, I think that's my opinion. Yeah.
You are right, but yeah, I interested to know why people should know social media.
Well, firstly, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
It's like your hand or your arm. Like if you don't know how to use your body, then you don't know how to live. If you don't know how to use the internet, you don't know how to live, right?
Mhm.
It's the internet, um, and social media as an extension, and AI as an extension. They're becoming necessary for life, right? So it's not just water and air anymore. Now, internet is a basic human necessity. And eventually, social media is going to become a basic human necessity. It's not quite yet basic human necessity, but it will be, especially when maybe we'll find employment through social media. We'll get paid through it, right? We'll have more opportunities. So eventually, social media is going to become an intrinsic part of the life. It's already very much, but that's why it's becoming important. Anything that's a basic human necessity, I do believe education in schools should deal with it somehow. You know. Mm, So.
Very interesting point, Mohammed.
mm, mm,
Interesting.
mm.
Okay, I consider that people should know about values, because there are a lot of people without values in life. And
Right,
yeah,
right. I, this is, I feel like, yes, I missed the elephant in the room here. Yes. The yes, that is the foundation to education. It's those values. You're right. I all those other things, knowing maths and all that, are useless if you are, for example, violent, or you take drugs, or you do crime. I mean, in the end, those knowing all those things, well, you would just harm society. The whole point of learning maths and science is that you contribute to society in a way that strengthens society. But to do that, to be a contributing member of society, you need to be good, right? You need to have good values. If you are, a harmful part of society, then eventually society will break down, or things like that, right?
mm,
Um, yeah, and leads to many social problems. No, I agree. I missed out. I missed that part. Yeah, values. Yes,
yeah,
values. Mm.
values, because people nowadays don't know how to um, have or try to. They don't know how to keep a conversation or start a conversation with someone according to their jobs, you know. So if someone have a job according to their interest, they are looking for have a conversation with that person. Or sometimes they treat people poorly just because their careers or their
So what you're
profession.
saying is people using each other, not
Yeah.
because they want to just genuinely get to know, genuinely make friendships, but they're just making friendships in order, out of selfishness, out of selfish aims, right? So
Yeah.
the foundation to their interactions is selfishness, right?
It's self.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. For me, for me. This is the biggest problem in our society, and all society or society.
Society.
Yeah,
Mm,
and also it have a big influence in social media as well. You know,
mm, yeah, yeah,
everything is connected with the values of the people, and people is losing their values.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that a big problem in Colombia, in Brazil, in various South American, it is, the drugs and the social problem and the poverty and all that. But I think underlying all of that is the lack of values, right? And the
Mhm.
lack of sort of social monitoring as well. I mean that relatives are not really monitoring what other people are doing. The uncle is not helping the nephew, and the nephew is not helping his brother, and so on. There isn't this sort of cohesion because if everyone was together, and then when someone has a money problem, then they can come together. But if they have a money problem, then they need to sell drugs to make money, and so it causes all these problems. But yes, yeah, even in a place like China that
Mhm.
does think that these values are important, that is the basic basis of education, you will find that a lot of people are just focused on money. I need to make money. Why? I need to get a house. Why? So that I can have a house for my children, so that my children go to school, which is cool. I mean, the basis is nice, is for family, but ultimately they make all the decisions based on how much money they can get, so that they can get a house, so that they can, and uh, and then all the while they're ignoring what their government is doing, right? They're ignoring the problems in their country because they're very focused on getting money, getting a house, having a stable life for their family. Um, you know, so, but if they really have strong values, they would, sometimes when you have values, you have to fight for the right thing. Yeah. You can't just let bad things happen and just look at them and go, oh, that's a bad thing. It happened, right? Part of having values is actually maintaining the balance, maintaining the goodness in this world. Like, because if the sort of the bad forces can do what they like, well then then the good forces kind of like get reduced, right? So you need to we all need to do our part in our own way, but yeah, getting educated, yeah. Mm.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
you're right.
the question is though, do you think that's the parents' responsibility or the school's responsibility to teach values, right? Mm.
For me, it's the school's responsibilities. Why? Because if you teach people in the right way, they are going to have all their children with the proper education. You
I
know,
see. Right, right.
if the children are good educated, they are going to rise good children.
Yeah, yeah, right. I see. I see.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, very fruitful discussion, right? There's a lot more we can say, of course, right? But anyways, yeah. Mm.
Really nice, so engagement. So I have more questions, of course, but I'm going to ask those questions in the next class. Okay,
Okay, okay,
but
no problem.
it was amazing as always. Okay,
Yes, likewise. And I will see you next time, Sunday. Yeah,
okay. See you soon.
yeah,
Bye
see you
bye.
soon. Bye bye. Bye.